Hello.
Hi.
We're back seeking truth, and we're here with Miss Julie Kuiper, and she's going to share her verse with us that she used in her testament. So if you want to go ahead and recite the verse, because she's got it memorized.
My verse came from Micah 7:8. When I fall, I shall rise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord will be a light to me.
Wow.
It's a powerful one.
That's powerful, isn't it? And you use that just in life, I think, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kept it in my heart.
Yeah. So let's think about, you did your testament. Did you have that verse before you did your testament?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it was sort of a life verse.
Yes. Yeah. Especially the last few months.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's really awesome because I just to say that we went to Lake Yale together and we came together. She was one of the people, but I also know Julie from teaching. Didn't really know her in teaching, but afterwards we got to meet each other and became really good friends. And so it's so awesome to see her and to have heard her testament. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm a witness to your testament. But that verse, and then you just surrounded your whole testament by it.
Actually, I think it kind of inspired pretty much the theme of the retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's, through that we started to talk about beauty beauty from ashes.
Yeah.
Because that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that was our theme.
Beauty from ashes.
Beauty from ashes. Yeah. And I just think that so much came out of those ashes. I mean, don't we think we grow? I mean, that's what he wants us to do, is to grow through.
Well, and we had talked about it at the table when I went back to the fellowship hall, and we talked about how the trials that we go through, God does that to keep us close to him.
Mm.
That's one of the reasons he allows it. He doesn't do it, but he allows it.
Yes.
Is because otherwise we would go on our merry way, and we would just not think about him and think about the good things. But when those trials come, that pulls us right back to him, because that's where our strength comes from.
Yeah.
I don't think, and then I don't think that all trials are our own doing. Sometimes they're just trials that surround us, don't you think?
Yeah. From a fallen world.
Yeah.
That we just have to end up dealing with, and hopefully we have Jesus in our heart that we can, deal with it along with him and have him guiding us through all of that. Yeah. So with this verse and your testament, without getting specific, but what was the overall idea and point that you wanted everyone to get from what you had said?
That Jesus really loves us.
Yeah.
Mm.
That he's always there for us. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't realize that until I did this testament and just put those words on paper, that yes, he really does love me.
Yeah.
He loves all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing for us to be able to sing, Jesus loves me, this I know. Jesus loves little children, Jesus loves, in general, it's very easy for us to say things, like you had said in your testament, it's very easy for us to just, just say it and have that knowledge, you have that knowledge growing up, but actually apply it and to realize that
And to feel it in your heart.
Yeah.
That's where he is. That's the
life-changing.
relationship.
That is life-changing.
Yes,
it
really is. Yeah.
It is. One of the things that you just was part of your testament too was that song. What was that song?
Oh, geez.
I know. Here we're gonna forget it, right? Let me tell you about my Jesus.
Let me tell you about
my Jesus.
I had to think.
The part I wanted to remember was he could do for you what he's done for me.
That's
Let
right.
me tell you about my Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
Say that again.
He could do for you what he's done for me. Let me tell you about my Jesus.
There you go. That sums it up, doesn't it, Julie?
It sure did.
Yeah.
It did.
And I think something you guys talked about in your group, it was great for everyone to just see that vulnerability and know that everyone goes through those trials and everything like that. And with that, he can do for me he can do for you what he's done for me, because Jesus has been a human
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He knows the trials and tribulations that we go through, and that He can walk with us, and that
Yeah.
He's walked with so many other people, and there's nothing new under the sun that people
That's right.
go through.
No.
Everything is, your specific situation for this, that, and the other thing all coming together might be unique, but those individual trials and those
Yeah.
individual struggles are not unique. Everyone goes through something along those lines.
Yeah.
And if you don't find it in one person might be going through this struggle in your life, and the other person might be going through this struggle in your life, and you can, get Jesus from both of them and work it to have that relationship with Him so that you can work it through your life. I hope that made sense.
It did. No, I was
I
listening to you, and I was really paying attention because, absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons that I really love that verse, because we all sit in darkness at some point.
Yes.
And sometimes we sit in darkness for a long, long time. But when we do, the Lord will be a light to me if I let Him.
Yeah. Because He doesn't want us in the darkness.
No.
His verse, our theme verse, He doesn't want you in that darkness. And there was something I thought of as we were talking, and now it just went right out my head. But I know what it was, because when I came up and I really appreciated the three of you. There's another two people going to be interviewed, actually the four of you, but especially the Friday nights group. Everything they went through, but then we had to point it all to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say, let me tell you about my Jesus, it all pointed to Jesus, because you know what? We cannot make it without Him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, truly. And if you need Jesus, find Him. And we'll help you. Do a little message in our little post. Do a post so that we can help you find Him if you don't know how.
Yeah.
Because, wow.
We aren't supposed to have it all together. Like, that's not, we don't get to have all of the control. That's what God's is. That's
I
what
know.
God has.
And tell me that again. I can't have all control.
You can't have all control, okay? That's God.
That's God.
God is all in control. We get to have self-control. That's fruits of the
That's
Spirit.
true. That's true.
We're supposed to work on self-control. But God is absolutely, completely in control. And I think there's, I think in the Just Be Held song was there's freedom in surrender.
Yeah.
And when we can surrender that control and just let go of those things, we can have that close relationship with Jesus, and just He can walk us out of that darkness.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is, even though you surrender whatever it is, saying it out loud, and then wadding it up in that ball that I did. I know you did something different, but wadding it up in that ball and throwing it in that bucket, throwing our ashes in that bucket, it was like, okay, I'm done. Nobody's gonna, I have no more secrets. You know what I mean? I have no more secrets.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there.
Yeah.
So,
It's
done,
gone.
over.
But yet at the same time, I hope I made that point in my testament.
Yeah.
That you don't just surrender and then walk away, and then
Yes.
I've had many people say, well, I surrendered to God and nothing happened. It didn't change. My situation stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, like Crystal talked about today, that it has to be a surrender of not just that particular situation or that particular thing. It has to be your life. It has to be everything, and it has to be every day.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a
it's
constant.
daily.
That's absolutely true.
It's a daily way that you speak to God. Get up in the morning and I say, good morning, Lord. Thank you for a new day. I give it to you.
I give it to you.
And
That's right.
It's got to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We get
that other stuff out of the way, our ashes out of the way, so that we can have the beauty, and then we can daily surrender. Yeah, good thought. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
We've enjoyed having you, and we're going to have a couple more people come in that spoke during our retreat, and so today was Julie, and we'll move on to our next one. But we're so thankful that you came.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So, hey, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
See? It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
See?
You know, it gets easier when you're talking about Jesus.
I know.
Oh yeah.
When
Let
you
me
have
tell
a
you
kid.
about-
Let me
It's not
tell you
about-
about my Jesus.